So now we're going to go through a few problems and I'm going to help you set them up and go through steps 1 and 2. And then I'm going to let you decide if you want to follow the unit rate or if you want to cross multiply and let you do the math. So after each problem, you'll want to press pause, do the math, and then you can come back when you're ready to do the next problem. So Chase earned $856 in 4 weeks. At that rate, how much will he earn in 7 weeks? So you should have this problem in front of you. So I want you to go through and circle any numbers and labels that you see. So there should be 3 of them. So go ahead and do that. So I can see $856, 4 weeks. And at that rate, how much will he earn in 7 weeks? So I'm looking for the money he'll do and get in 7 weeks. So step 1, pretty easy, but very important. We have to know what is the problem telling us and asking us. So step 2 is we want to set up our table or our proportion. So either way we're doing it, we're starting with money as our first label. You can put M for money. I'm going to put a dollar sign. And it's $856. And I want to know, my other label is weeks. And how many weeks did he take to earn 856? 4 weeks. So 856 over 4. And now I want to know how much is he going to earn in 7 weeks. So if I am following the table, I want to change that to 1 week. So if I'm doing a unit rate, I want to find out 1 week. I've got to just take this number and replace it with a 1. Weeks is on the bottom, so I'm going to put a 1 here. If I'm doing it this way, then I'm going to say how much did he earn in 7 weeks. Weeks is on the bottom. This time I'm putting a 7, so that's the only difference. So you can choose which way. Do you like the unit rate or do you like the cross multiply and divide one? So either way, you can pick. So if you like the unit rate, figure out how you got from 4 to 1. Do the same thing to the top and then apply the unit rate of 7 weeks. Or you can skip straight to that and pass the unit rate. And I can do 856 times 7. And then I'm going, so that's my new problem. And up here, I've got 4m. And I want to divide by that 4 to get that m all by itself. So I have 4m equals 856 times 7. So you're going to have to do 856 times 7 and then divide it by 4. Either way you do it will get you your answer. So go ahead and pause and do that math. And then come back when you are ready for the next problem. Number 2 says Sky flew her helicopter for 5 minutes and went 12 miles. At that rate, how long did it take her to fly 8.4 miles? So step 1, circle any numbers and labels you see. So I can see 5 minutes for 12 miles. At that rate, how long will it take to fly 8.4 miles? So my labels are looking like M's and M's. So I probably don't want to just stick with an M. So I'm going to say minute and miles. So however we're starting our problem, we do it the same way. So how many minutes was 5? The miles was 12. So in 5 minutes, they went 12 miles. Now I want to know how long it took to fly 8.4. So if I'm doing it the table way, I want, in the unit rate way, I want to find 1 mile. I want to find out how long did it take to fly 1 mile. So I'm going to put my 1 right here. So this means I'm asking myself, how did I get from 12 to 1? Well, I divided by 12, so that means I have to actually do 5 divided by 12. Lots of us like to take the big number and divide it by the little one, but that's not always true. Sometimes you might do a decimal. They're not, okay? So we're taking that. So in 1 mile, how many minutes? So it didn't even take them a full minute to go 1 mile because they're going like more than 2 miles an hour. So it's taking not very long at all to go 1. So decimal number here, and then you need to apply it. Or we can skip straight to our 8.4. 8.4 miles needs to go on the bottom with miles. So 8.4. And to do this one, I'm going to cross multiply 8.4 times by 5. And then I divide it by 12. 5 times 8.4 divided by 12. If I were setting up this problem, I would put 8.4 on top times 5 on the bottom so that I don't have to do a double digit one. So, and then take that answer and divide it by 12. So either way, we have to divide by 12. So you can either multiply, then divide, or you can divide, then multiply. So pick which way you want to do that problem, and then come back when you are ready to do the next one. Hey, this one says Marshall made 108 cookies in 3 hours. So I'm going to do step 1 as I'm reading. So 108 cookies, that took 3 hours. At that rate, how many cookies can she make in 8 hours? So I'm looking for 8 hours. So I have cookies and hours as my labels. Cookies, hours. 108 cookies took 3 hours. So 108 cookies took 3 hours. So if I'm using the unit rate strategy, I want to know how many cookies she can make in 1 hour. So I put that 1 here. So I'd really like to see this. I saw some kids messing it up and dividing it backwards like that last one, doing 12 divided by 5 instead of 5 divided by 12. So it's important we know what is the unit we're looking for. We're looking for hours. So we can ask myself, how did I get from 3 to 1? Do the same thing and then apply it. Or I can skip straight to 8 hours. My hours are on the bottom. So to do this one, I'm taking 108 and I'm timesing that by 8. And then I'm going to divide it by 3 because I have that new equation, 108 times 8. This is 3 groups of C. And I want to divide by 3 to get C all by itself. So 108 times 8 divided by 3. So go ahead and pause and do that math and come back when you are ready to do the next one. Okay, Rocky bought 8 pounds of potatoes. So 8 pounds of potatoes for $3.36. At that rate, how much money will 11 pounds cost? So I'm comparing pounds and money. So pounds and money. And I have 8 pounds for $3.36. And if I'm setting up the proportion, it's exactly the same. So I start with the same thing. Steps 1 and 2 are exactly the same. So a unit rate, I need to find, so this one's 11 pounds. So first I have to find 1 pound. 1. So I'm asking myself, how do I get from 8 to 1? So notice all of my pounds lined up. The 1's not going on the bottom because we put pounds on the top this time. So pounds, I want 1 of these. So divide by 8. So I need to do the same thing and divide by 8 and then apply that unit rate for 11 of those. If I want to do the proportion strategy, I'm going to skip straight to 11. 11 pounds, and pounds needs to go on the top. And so to solve this one, I'm going to do $3.36 times 11. And then I'm going to divide it by 8. Either way, I should get the same answer. So this one I'm just skipping that unit rate, going straight to 11, and then cutting it up. So I'm just rearranging my numbers, same answer. Okay, so go ahead and do that one. Come back when you're ready for the next one. Hey, here we have Everest climb 2.3 miles up the mountain in 30 minutes. At that rate, how far can she climb in 45 minutes? So we've got 2.3 miles and 30 minutes. So again, I have the miles and minutes. So I want to distinguish the difference with miles and minutes. So 2.3 miles, and that took 30 minutes. So this is one I saw lots of people mixing up when they didn't set up their proportion right. So we really want to make sure we read it and get our numbers in the right spot. So then we're going to get miles and minutes here. And at that rate, how far can she climb in 45 minutes? So let me finish setting this one up. So I've got 2.3 over 30. So that's my starting rate. And if I'm doing a unit rate, that means we want to know 1 minute. How far can she go in 1 minute? And then apply that. So I'm looking for one of these. So I'm asking myself, how did I get from 30 to 1? Well, I divided by 30. So this is 2.3 divided by 30. I saw a lot of people, they just want to stick that 30 inside of the division box because it's bigger. But this really says 2.3 divided by 30. And then over here, and then I'll take, that unit rate and apply it to 45 of those minutes. So if I'm doing this one, I'm actually going to skip straight to 45 minutes. My minutes are on the bottom. So here's 45. So if I do the proportion strategy, I'm taking 2.3 times 45, and then I'm going to divide by 30. 30 is actually not a terrible number to divide by. It's just like counting by threes, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180. So it's just 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, but with a 0 at the end. So it's really not too terrible. So after I multiply 45 times 2.3, when I divide it by 30, that will give me my miles all by themselves. So either way, same answer. So go ahead and do that, and then come back when you're ready to do the next one. Okay, Zuma surfed for 2 hours. So we've got 2 hours and caught 32 waves. At that rate, how long will it take to catch 56 waves? So we've got hours and we've got waves. So in 2 hours, Zuma got, I got a little ahead of myself. In 2 hours, Zuma did 32 waves. So was able to surf 32 times in 2 hours. So if I am setting, so there's my first setup. And if I want to do the proportion strategy, it looks exactly the same. So if I'm finding the unit rate first, I want to take this 56 and make it 1 wave. So how much can they do in 1? So asking myself, how did I get from 32 to 1? So doing the same thing here. And so this is divide by 32. So this is really 2 divided by 32. So this is going to be a very little number. And then I'm going to apply it to that unit rate. If I'm skipping straight to the proportion, 56 waves, waves is on the bottom. So this one I am doing 2 times 56, and then I'm going to divide it by 32. So if I'm counting by 32s, and I'm not sure what is next, like I always just start with a 5. I always do 32 and I times it by 5 just to kind of see what is that middle number there. So here's 10 and 15, 16. So when I times 32 by 5, it's 160. So once I know what 56 times 2 is, then that will let me know, do I need to go bigger than 5 or smaller than 5? But kind of knowing what that middle number is helps me know, maybe what number should I try next? Do I need to go bigger than 5 or smaller than 5? So 56 times 2 divided by 32. So this is the proportion strategy. Unit rate, we've got to divide by 32. Divide by 32. Either way, you have to divide by 32. And then if you use the unit rate, that's only one wave. I want to know 56 of those. So then you have to apply that once you know one of them. For this one, once you're done, you're done. So go ahead and finish that and come back when you're ready for the next one. Hey, our next one says that Rubble bought 318 treats in 6 boxes. So we've got 318 treats in 6 boxes. How many boxes does he need to buy to have 424 treats? So we are comparing treats to the boxes. So we've got 318 treats in 6 boxes. And that's our beginning ratio here, whether I'm doing a unit or a proportion. And then I want to know, if I'm doing a unit rate, 1 treat. My treats are on the top this time, so here is 1 treat. So to get to 1, I'm going to divide by 318. You can do it. Okay, so I've got to take 6 and divide by 318, and that will tell me the 1 treat. And then I'm going to apply that to 24 of them. Where if I want to do the proportion strategy, I'm skipping straight to 424 treats. So here I'm going to multiply 424 times 6. And then, so that would be the first part of my equation. My second part would be 318 times b, which is 318b. And I have to divide by 318 to get that b all by itself. 424 times 6 divided by 318 will tell me how many boxes I need to have 424 treats. So I know my answer has to be more than 6. It has to be bigger than 6 boxes because 6 only gives me 318 and I want more treats than that. So as you're dividing, that's something to think about. So when I first started, right, I told you my little trick is that I like to do 318 times 5 to kind of see what it is. And I did it and then I was like, oh, duh. It's got to be bigger than 5 because 6 isn't even enough. So I know it has to be bigger than 6. So as you're dividing, you might want to try something bigger than 6. Because since this number got bigger, I know the bottom number has to get bigger as well. Okay, so that's all of our practice problems we're going to do together in this video. So once you have all of those done, go ahead and bring me your paper. And let's look at it and see how you did and see what questions you have for me.